Happy Monday, everybody. A little Monday motivation for you here. I had an interesting hike over the weekend, and it is a really good story for why so many people struggle in government contracting. And so I'll come back to the parallels in government contracting here after the story time. So we decided to go hike this trail, and we actually did the other half of the trail last weekend with this gorgeous waterfall. I put a video on there about it. It's an amazing waterfall. It's really, really cool. Very difficult last leg of the hike to the waterfall, down and back. It's very difficult. It is exhausting, but it is worth it. And so we wanted to go the other route this time because we heard it was a little bit easier, and we thought we would just try that. And so I pulled up the map in this little All Trails app that we have, and I just put in the name of the waterfall. My mistake, first mistake. I didn't realize that there were actually two waterfalls with the exact same name here in Tennessee, and they're about an hour apart. So we get on the trail, and I'm like, something's not right. Something's not right. And we got this map, and I'm like, it doesn't look like anything. And then my kids are like, well, maybe you don't know how to read the map or whatever. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I know how to read a map. This is not right. Something's wrong. And I should have trusted my gut then and tried to back out of it. But I thought, why would there be two waterfalls with the same name, right? I didn't know that, but I figured that out after the hike. But anyway, we were going along, and there was just all these indicators that the map was not right, but we just kept going. And at some point, as we got within probably a mile of our destination, we realized we were too tired to continue. And we were like, look, we've got to go all the way back. And so if we go another mile, and then it's very difficult at the end, which is probably going to be difficult at the end, and then have to turn around and come back, we're going to have a hard time getting back to the car. So we're like, look, we're just going to call it for today. We're going to go back to the car. And so instead of walking the 3 to 3.5 miles we thought we were going to walk, we walked closer to 5-ish, somewhere around there. And so the lesson there was about the map. We had the wrong map, and we trusted it for way too long. And I'll tell you, it didn't have a lot of indicators that it was the wrong map. You're in the mountains. There's a lot of twisty turny. There's a lot of rivers and things like that. So it looked very, very similar. It was just wrong. And when I sit down with a lot of government contractors and I start looking at the map they're following, it's wrong. They're following the wrong one, or at least the wrong one for them. And one of the things that they also do is when there comes to a trail, and the trail says, hey, it's shorter to go this way, but man, it's a lot harder. Caution. They're like, it'll be fine. And they're like, yeah, let's go that way. And they don't realize there's a sheer drop off, or you got to wade through a river or whatever, right? They always try to choose the faster path, no matter how treacherous it is, no matter how difficult it is. And a lot of times it's just not a good path. It's like, if we just go to the left, it's a tiny bit farther, but it's easier to do that. And when you get there, you won't be exhausted. If you go to the right, man, you're probably going to get exhausted. And so I see that a lot, but the wrong map. Here's some of the things that I see on the wrong map where people are saying, hey, you need to tell everybody that you're a small, disadvantaged, SDVOSB, WOSB, alphabet soup, all these other things. You need to tell them that first thing when you meet somebody. You shouldn't be telling them that, because there's a lot of other people that have all those statuses. That doesn't help. It doesn't help when you come in and your focus is, hey, because I'm small, you need to give me a contract. Because I have one of these statuses, you need to give me a contract. Because, president said, and it's not just this, but every president, right? Every president says, they're going to raise these limits here so that, government can meet these goals and help small business. It's not the first thing contracting officer wants to hear. Hey, I'm just going to do the middleman strategy, and I'm going to make $1 million doing that. And then I'll start my own business, my own real business, but I'm just going to do the middleman thing. Well, there's a lot more to that strategy than you think. And so, again, wrong roadmap. And so there's a lot of things like that confuse people. One of them is putting every NAICS code under the sun on their capability statement, every possible service or product they could sell on their capability statement, saying, look, we have this plethora of things that we could do for you. Just choose one off the menu. Well, have you ever been to a restaurant that has a really big menu? If you have, the first thing it creates is confusion and you don't know what to do. And so you usually panic and just order a burger or whatever it is you normally order somewhere else, right? And so you've got to niche down. And so there's all these little things that can be confusing and make you think, well, hey, I'm following somebody else's roadmap. They said this was the roadmap, and you might get there. You might get there. But I'll tell you, we have a different roadmap. That roadmap is federal access, and the strategies and the tactics in there aren't necessarily the rocky, hard, uphill path. You know, they're not that, but they're the fastest route if you do it consistently. Instead of taking 3 to 5 years, hopefully in 6 to 12 months, you're going to be in a place where you're growing, it's consistent, and you like it. It's not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in 3 months. Sometimes, but that's not the norm, right? And so you have to have the right map in front of you, and you got to stick with it. You got to understand it takes time. And if you do that, you're going to come out in a much better situation when you're following the right map. And so I want to urge anybody that's out there today that you're on a path, whether it's another coach or consultant or something you found on YouTube or TikTok or somewhere else on LinkedIn, whatever it is. If you're following a roadmap and it doesn't feel right, now's a really good time of year to stop, take a break, and say, okay, let's assess this road we're on. Let's see if this is the right path for me and my business, because you don't want to keep going down the wrong road, following the wrong map. You don't want to keep doing that for too far, because once you get too far, sometimes you don't have any choice but to keep going. And if you're following the wrong one and it's leading nowhere, that destination may never come. Or the destination may be something you really don't like going out of business. I see a lot of companies go out of business. And so assess whether you're on the right map right now, if you're following the right strategies. And if you're not, reach out. Either go check out federalaccess.com, reach out to me, reach out to one of our coaches, reach out to Josh, reach out to somebody and just do a checkup. Hey, is this the right path? I just want to know, am I on the right path? And we'll tell you. We'll be the first one to tell you, hey, look, sounds like you're doing all the right things. You just haven't given it enough time. Or, hey, sounds like you're doing the right things. I'd make these 2 tweaks and I think it'd be good. We'll be very upfront about that. But check to make sure you're on the right road. Check to make sure you're using the right map. I guarantee you'll thank me for it. Happy Monday, everybody.